On the 12th of November, the world was dimmed a bit as a great man passed at the age of 95. Stanley Martin Lieber, or Stan Lee, changed the world in so many ways, paving the path for people like us here at Moving Pictures to follow our dreams just as he did. To all of us nerds and geeks, he was kind of our grandfather, showing us how to be our best us and how to overcome our differences and surpass our limitations. All of us at this channel spent the 12th swapping stories about one particular hero he created along with Steve Ditko and Jack Kirby, SpiderMan. Debuting in 1962 in Amazing Fantasy 15, Peter Parker became a staple in many of our lives, showing us just what every man can do if given the opportunity. Peter was just an average Joe until an accident gave him a chance of a lifetime. As we all know, with great power comes great responsibility, something we've learned time and again following Peter through his adventures. Another character who speaks to many of us is the Incredible Hulk. Created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby and first appearing in his own comic book's first issue in May of 1962, we were given the struggle of a modern-day Jekyll and Hyde. A doctor, desperate to help with his research, pushes the research too far and splits his own personality in the process. In Stan Lee's own words, "I've always had a soft spot in my heart for the Frankenstein monster. No one could ever convince me that he was the bad guy. He never wanted to hurt anyone. He merely groped his torturous way through a second life, trying to defend himself, trying to come to terms with those who sought to destroy him." My personal favorite heroes he had a hand in creating would be Iceman with Jack Kirby and Loki with Jack Kirby and Larry Lieber. Created in 1963 and 1962 respectively, these two characters have always been ones that I've followed closely and looked to for inspiration. It could be argued that only recently did Loki become considered a hero. But as one of Norse ancestry, I've loved Loki and other trickster gods since I was a child. You find that a lot in Iceman, aka Bobby Drake, as well, always hiding his true pain behind jokes and tricks. One can hide a lot of pain that way. Or one can take Loki's path and let the pain win and turn them into a monster. It's been nice to watch Loki get his redemption arc, though. We all have our hills and mountains to overcome, some of us more physically than mentally. Professor Charles Xavier, created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby in 1963, was one of the first, if not the first, disabled superhero. In that same vein, my mother fell in love with Steve Rogers, created with Jack Kirby and Joe Simon in 1941 when the first Captain America film came out. Fighting cancer, she found courage in a small but feisty New Yorker who found a way to make his outer strength match his inner strength. Having been born in 1948, she grew up with the hero, and that gave us something to deeply connect over. While the great Stan Lee has left us physically, I can't help but think that he's finally kind of moved to the form he'd taken in the MCU films, in a sense. There's a theory that he was the same character the whole time. The Watcher, perhaps. And now I'd like to think he's truly taken on that character. His message of unity through difference lives on in all of us who were touched by his work, and it's up to us to carry that message on. I guess all we have left to say is thank you, Stan Lee, from the bottom of our hearts. Excelsior, Stan.